Well, your audio is in mute mode, and after this presentation, we shall have a question answer session, and there I will unmute you one by one. And also, I request you all to be very careful, because if your video is on, then I hope it is in presentable form. Opportunity knocks on the door. A very, very exciting and interesting topic for all of us, for all of the existing investors, as well as those who are sitting on the fence. There are many investors who stopped investing last year due to the COVID, and then they are finding themselves as if they have missed the bus. And partly, yes, but a lot of things are yet to come, and let's see what is there in store for all of us. Team Smart VRC welcomes you all to this session, and also I welcome my ex-subscribers, very old subscribers, and my friends and existing subscribers and others. Warm welcome to all of you. This is A K Asnani from Smart VRC. So what we are going to discuss in this webinar, rather in this presentation first, is the stocks, the best investment option, and why we see a golden opportunity in stocks. Is this the right time to invest in the stocks? To be in a very brief way, and the sectors which hold tremendous potential, and followed by question answer session. As usual, question answer session remains to be a central attraction of these webinars. You can ask, anyone can ask any type of question related to the stocks, related to the stocks investment, related to the stocks techniques, but not related to any specific stock query, whether one should buy, sell, or hold, like that. So starting with the poll, question is very simple. I invest in, first option is mutual funds, second is direct into stocks, and third is none of the above. Now options are on your screen. I invest in the stocks. I invest in, first option is mutual funds, second is direct into shares, and third is none of the above. Well, I request almost all the participants to answer. 80% of the participants have opted their choice, and still 18% are left. Only 5 seconds are left. Then we shall close this poll. Okay, results are on expected lines. So let's close this poll. Total 86% participants have participated, and the results are on your screen. 14% invest in mutual funds, 84% directly into shares, and 1% none of the above. Thank you for participating, and this helps us, all of us, in fact, that what is the total profile of the investors, and also especially to me, that where a more focus is to be provided. Well, moving ahead. A very brief about the investment options. As we all know, these are the very limited type of investment options with us. Investment in gold, investment in fixed deposit in banks, PPF, housing, and then the shares. And most of us are aware that the returns from the stock market are way higher compared to PPF, FD, gold, and inflation, even after accounting for the income tax as well as the inflation. So inflation adjusted real returns are something like this for the last 40 years. So it is adjusted for inflation. Naturally, inflation has to be zero. Gold 1.14, FD 2.17, PPF 2.98, and Sensex 8.97. Way higher. Many times more even than even from the second best option. So there is no choice, but we have to invest in shares. The question only is how. Okay. Okay, I said we must invest in shares, and investing in shares is through two ways: either directly buying the shares from the market, as we say it as a secondary market, and secondly, as through the mutual funds. So when we invest in a mutual fund, your fund manager invests on your behalf into the number of shares. Normally, it is near to about 50 shares in every mutual fund, and mainly concentrated in top 15% of the shares. Now, what happens is, even a mutual fund, they charge you an expense ratio. Expense ratio may vary, and it is about 2%. So every year from your NAV, they deduct 2%. And if you are investing in that in direct shares, then and if you are taking the services of an advisor, then also you pay something about 1% or 2%. It all depends what kind of services you are availing. If it is a PMS, then naturally you have to fork out more percentage. But if there is an advisory service which is common for all, then it can be even less than 1%. The problem with mutual funds is the performance of about 65 to 70% of the mutual funds. They are not able to outperform their underlying benchmark index. So why not to invest directly into the indices? In India, it is still better. In US, it is already touching 90%. Yes, 90% of the active mutual funds are unable to outperform their underlying benchmark indices. So the question arises, shall we continue with mutual funds, or why not to invest directly into the indices through ETF? There the expense ratio is very less. Or why not generate extra returns by investing yourself? More about this later. Leaders and laggards. So there is actually a report published in Economic Times a couple of days back, and these are the in terms of the BSE sensitive index, which companies contributed the most since 24th March 2020. 24th March, because on 23rd March 2020, it formed the bottom, and the Sensex was little less than 26,000 points. So Reliance tops the charts. As we all know, post-COVID, Reliance very smartly jumped, then followed by Infosys, HDFC Bank, HDFC, ICICI Bank, Tata Consultancy Services, Larsen & Toubro, Axis Bank, Bajaj Finance, Kotak Mahindra Bank. So these were the leaders which contributed maximum to the BSE sensitive index in its gain, more than 100% gain from 24th March 2020 till date. Now, which are the laggards? Laggards are Coal India, Hero MotoCorp, Indian Oil Corporation, Shree Cement, Aisha Motor, Britannia, NTPC, Power Grid Corporation, BPCL, Nestle. So I am very sure many of you must have already made the observations in a way. There is no public sector in terms of the highest contributors, and there are a lot of public sectors here. As we can see, Coal India, Indian Oil Corporation, NTPC, Power Grid Corporation, BPCL, these are the public sectors. Now, this is the top contributors on the left side, and on the right side are the bottom contributors. So even from the Sensex stocks, if you had picked up some companies and if it happened to be the bottom ones, then your performance must have been below the BSE sensitive index. Had you selected the top performers among the top performers, then your performance must have been better than the index. So what depends is how you select the stocks, right? And you will be surprised to know that all these stocks, except for Axis Bank, we have recommended during this period at some point or other. Except for Axis Bank, we have recommended all these shares, and many of these stocks are still in our various products, still under buy advice. Yes, there is one stock, Hero Motor Corp, which is also under a buy advice in one of our services. But apart from Hero Motor Corp, there is no other stock even in our radar. So that made the difference in huge overperformance of our products, of our advice compared to the Sensex or Nifty or any other index for that matter. Now, in fact, all these are leaders. Even these laggards are in terms of the performance of their share price. But if you look at the companies like Shree Cement, this is a leader in cement sector. Coal India, almost monopoly. Hero Motor Corp, leader in the domestic market. So all these are leaders. NTPC, Nestle India, Reliance, Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, Larsen and Toubro. All these are leaders in their respective sectors. Now, if all these are leaders in their respective sectors and these are forming the part of the BSE sensitive index, you can very well imagine what would be the performance of the collective leaders of respective sectors. It is almost impossible to outperform those collection of those leaders. So these are not laggards in terms of share price performance. Maybe they are laggards, but in terms of their respective sector representation, these are the leaders. And it is because of this that when you buy the businesses of the leaders in the respective sectors, this is the performance which speaks for itself. As of 1st of January 1986, the index was 561, and today the latest one, Sensex, is 59,015. This gives you compound returns of 13.91%. 13.91% is a very big number, and that too for a period of 35 years, right? But here is one more basket which is giving much better returns than the collection of these leaders. And this is nothing but a smart billionaire picks. This is our own product, and wherein we hardly have any Sensex stock. Yes, and still we are able to not only outperform, but way better performance, way better. I don't have the words how much way it is better, but you can see from the chart how we have continuously, this, the blue color chart is smart billionaire picks. This was started on 30th of May 2001, and this chart is up to 14th of September 2021, and you can see the outperformance. It is continuously expanding. With respect to this red one is the BSE sensitive index. So this is the performance of the share prices, collective share prices of the leaders of the sectors, and this is the performance of our basket. In terms of CAGR, the picture would be much clearer. In fact, in Smart Billionaire Picks, had one invested 1 lakh rupees on the start date, during these 20 years, it has grown to 1.32 crores. And changes are made only on Wednesday, and that too before 11 a.m. So a lot of discipline is required, a lot of foresightedness is required to pick the stocks, not only the foresightedness, but also to find the worth of the stock, and then huge control on the emotions. This we have developed over many years, and I myself started in 1988-89. So I've got 32 years of experience, and that is the outcome of this experience and the learnings from the success as well as the failures, that our Smart Billionaire Picks is giving you 27.17% CAGR compared to BSE Sensex CAGR of 14.66 during this period. So this was all about Smart Billionaire Picks. It is not only the Smart Billionaire Picks, but there are other products also which have outperformed. We will have a brief look at them. So first of the products is Smart Gains. Smart Gains has two parts. First is the pick of the week, and this is the performance during last 18 months. When I say 18 months, it also involves the whole month of March 2020, when the Sensex crashed. That period is also here included, and including that, we have given advice for 90 stocks. Average holding period was 11 months. Target achieved in 66 stocks out of 90. 66% achieved, 66 stocks achieved the target. Average realized gains are 23%. Normally, we are giving a target of about 25 to 30% realized gains. But as I said, due to the not so good performance in the month of March 2020, this has declined to 23%. Stop loss triggered in 5 stocks. Out of these 5, 4 were from the month of March 2020. And exit due to change of scenario 6. Open positions are only 13. So out of 90 stocks, only 13 positions are open. For rest of them, we have already achieved the target or exited. Also, for every buy call, we give you a sell call also. Sell call notification comes from our end in all the products. So there is no monitoring required at your end about the stock hitting the stop loss or stock hitting the target. We shall provide you the notification whenever exit is required. So this was about the Smart Gains pick of the week. Second part, okay. Second part is Smart Billionaire Picks, SBP, as we have already discussed. This is the performance. Had one invested 1 lakh rupees in BSE sensitive index, it would have grown to 16.11 lakhs, and we are presently at 132 lakhs. Next is Smart Multibagger. Here we provide about 12 to 15 stocks advices in a year, and for the last 18 months, this is the performance. 30 number of advices. Average holding period is 38 months. Yes, the holding period for Smart Multibagger stock varies from 2 years to 5 years, and out of 30, 12 already we have achieved the target. So during last 18 months, out of 30, 12 have already achieved the target. Realized gains per script is 74.32%. Stop loss is triggered in 1 stock. Emergency exit has to be made in 2 stocks, and open positions are 15. Yes, open positions are more compared to the Smart Gains because the investment horizon is way too longer in Smart Multibagger. Subscription charge for this is about 8,000 rupees for 1 year plus GST. So this is the Smart Multibagger total advice position for last 18 months. Coming to the Smart Freedom stocks, this is again a basket of stocks, but with more safety, more inclined towards safety, and the performance is also better compared to the Sensex, BSE Sensex as well as NSE Nifty. As you can see, this was started on 12th of October 2015 with 10 lakh rupees. Smart Freedom has grown to 26.20 lakhs, while equivalent BSE Sensex would have been 21.79%. So outperformance is everywhere, because what you should know is how to pick the stock. Coming to the smart SIP, this is also doing excellently well. 10,000 rupees every month. It is just on educational purpose. Investment of 10,000 per month is considered, and since the start, investment has been 6 lakhs, whose present value is 10.76 lakhs. What happens is, most of you must have realized many times we pick a good stock, really a good stock, but out of fear, we make an exit. Isn't it? This is a fact. And later you find that your fear was not required. It was false fear. So one of the full forms of fear is false evidence appearing real. Many times you will find that for some or the other reason, you may make an exit from the stock just because of, maybe because of the overvaluations, because of the gains, because of the competitor. Many reasons can be there, but it is out of the fear. But in reality, how many times it happened that you thought that market will fall and market actually fell? When I say fall, that means fall of more than 20%. Most of the time you will find that no, it will not fall. And even if it falls, then you should have the courage to reorganize your portfolio, to look which stocks will really get impacted and which stocks will not be impacted. Like in case of COVID, yes, hotel business will be impacted, but if you are looking for 3 years from now or 4 years from now, I will give you an example. Like Indian hotels, before COVID, it was hovering about 140, 150 rupees. Post-COVID, I should not say post-COVID, but after 23rd March, bottoming out, it went down to about 60 levels, rupees 60. It fell from 140 to rupees 60. Now, just think of it. How long this COVID will continue? Is it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Even if you assume that it will take 4 long years for COVID to wane, then hotel business will resume its normal operations, normal profitability, and rupees 60 stock should grow to 140. More than doubling of your money in 4 years. Yes, acceptable. Everyone will agree. So that is the way to look at the things. Have a perspective like this. So this is the BSE sensitive index, again from 1986 to till date, and I have plotted only the bottoms, major bottoms rather I should say. And this is what I say is the how many times the market has really crashed. So it is once during the 1992 bull market crash was there, 1992, and then in the year 2008, again in 2003, it was not a crash, but steadily market decline. And then last year in 2020. So basically during a long duration of 35 years, it was only 3 or 4 times that market actually crashed. Okay. So even if it crashed, what were the kind of returns you were getting? So we started on 1st of January 1986 at 561 BSE Sensex. On 2nd of May 2003, market was very low at 2966, but still the compound returns were 10.1%. Then what happened next? In 2008 crash, Sensex was 8,325 and your compound returns were 12.3%. Real returns were much better than any other investment asset. Even at market bottom. Okay, so why to fear? Even during COVID, that is last year on 23rd of March 2020, when the Sensex was 25,981, the compound returns were 11.85. So even if the market crashes, even if the market goes down by 40%, then also the compound returns are way better. So why to fear? And presently, Sensex is 59,015 and compound returns are 13.91%. So nothing to be feared, only to be understood that corporate cannot fail permanently. Corporate can never fail. Government will never allow corporate to fail because it is the corporate which feeds all the segments of the society. Employees get salary from corporate, government gets taxes from the corporate, government gets taxes from the salaried people, and salaried people get money from the corporate. Everything comes from the corporate. So have a faith on the corporate, have a belief on the corporate. Yes, opportunity is knocking the door. Presently, almost everything is in shortage in USA. Be it the white goods, be it the vehicles, passenger vehicles, or any type of automobile vehicles, because there is a shortage of chips. Even the items, household items, there is no shortage, but there is an inflation because of the high demand. Not because of the cost, but because of the high demand. More about this we will cover in the coming presentation, in the coming slides. In the first quarter of present FY22, top 5 Indian software companies have backed deals worth $14 billion. Yes, $14 billion means 1,02,000 crores of software deals have been backed. And that is the reason why so many IT stocks are, almost all IT stocks are going up like anything. Lot of schemes, PLI schemes have been announced by the government. Many schemes have been already finalized. PLI for auto, PLI for drones, steel, that is special steel, then white goods, textile, pigments, air conditioners. So these PLI schemes have already been declared and many more are in the pipeline. Reforms in telecom, you all know that government has declared moratorium for 4 years for all the telecom companies. Past reforms like RERA, that is for the real estate, then the corporate tax cut, IBC, full benefits of these reforms are yet to be realized. So these will also get added in fueling the coming demand pull. Bad bank, this is also taking place, and bad bank will help to increase the liquidity in the market. This bad bank has been formed and 2 companies have been formed under the bad bank. One company will acquire the bad bank assets. One company will acquire the bad assets from the commercial banks, and the other company will sell these assets into the market. Of course, with the government guarantee. Security receipts will also be there, and government will also infuse about 35,000 crores. Most of the corporate companies are sitting on very low debt. Yes, because of the slowdown in economy from last couple of years and added with the COVID, companies are reluctant in taking the debt. Inflation is presently under control. It is not as high, shooting up as high as in USA, but in our country, consumer price index is under control. And one of the reasons is in USA, a lot of money has been infused into the system. What we say is lot many US dollars have been printed, but nothing like that has happened in India. So that is one of the reasons. why there is low inflation, or rather, I cannot say low, but inflation is just moderate in the Indian context. Well, almost we can say it is a bottom. We are undergoing bottoming out of NPS. Whatever NPS have been declared, some more may be declared in times to come, because it takes some time to declare an asset as an NPA. So maybe for next 6 months or 9 months, NBFCs and banks will continue to declare more NPS, but then fresh NPA development is at bare minimum. As I said, because of the low debt, now the chances of going an asset as an NPA are very less. As I said, from many years, there was a slowdown in economy, and now there is a strong demand. At least it has started in USA and India also. In some of the sectors, it is clearly visible. We'll cover those sectors in the coming slides. So now we are very near to the start of a new investment cycle by the corporate. This has already been declared. I think not I can say declared, but has been stated by Kotak Mahindra Bank chief, and even Godrej Properties management has said that about 6 months back that this is the time to acquire the land banks, because we are going for a long investment cycle in real estate. There are many other indicators. We will show you some statements made by the leading corporate leaders. Almost all of the IPOs are getting oversubscribed by many times, and this shows the amount of money available in the market, amount of liquidity available with the investors, and also the grand success of the Ola scooters. This also shows people have the money, they should only get the opportunity. JioPhone Next is also expected to bring a revolution in the lower class. Many more crores of people will come into the net of internet, and that will also generate demand. So this is the inflation. As you can see, from past 3 months, inflation is under downtrend, and presently it is about 5.25%. So nothing to be worried or as far as the inflation is concerned. Even if the inflation goes up, then also not much to be worried, because it is the corporate. Because when you are investing in a business, you are basically investing in the management. It is the management which will steer your company to new heights. So if the inflation is high, they will take appropriate actions so that your company continues to report good growth. There is a statement from CEO and Managing Director, Mr. Manoj Raghavan of Tata Elxsi on 12th of January 2021. Yes, about 9 months ago. These are the edited excerpts. Let's see what he said. We are entering the 4th quarter and a new year with the reinforced confidence of a strong deal pipeline across markets and industries, and capabilities in product engineering, design, and digital that make our offerings more relevant and our market position stronger than ever before. This last 4 words, stronger than ever before. This is a very strong statement. Normally from a Tata company, you will not hear such type of statements. But this was really a very strong statement, of course, 9 months ago. Then what happened to Tata Elxsi? Share price. This is what happened. This is from the 12th of January 12th of January 2021, when Mr. Raghavan made the statement. And after that, because of the company's super performance, this was the performance of the share price. It has more than doubled, about 150% returns in a matter of 9 months. And that too from a company like Tata Elxsi, from a Tata company, known to everybody. So On 12th of January, Tata Elxsi was 2071. Last quoted on 17th of September, it is 5486. Gains are 164%. During the same period, NSE Nifty has given you 21% returns and BSE Sensex only 19% returns. Of course, considering the 9 months, even 21% returns are pretty good. But here is a stock which has given 8 times more returns. 8 times. That is how one can outperform the broad indices like Nifty and BSE sensitive index. That is the way to outperform. You have to find such stocks. You have to look for the management. You have to look for the comments made by the management. You have to read between the lines. That is the right way to outperform. There is one more, Acrysil, and this goes back to 25th of August, almost more than a year ago. What the managing director and chairman, Mr. Chirag Parekh, said. The company is seeing a good traction in its export order book on the back of increased demand for home improvement products. See, 25th August 2020, that means just post-COVID. That means not, I cannot say that COVID has ended, but what were the conditions at that time? We all were very, very fearful. How long it will continue? When will the vaccine come? When will the whole population be vaccinated? How much will be the effectiveness of the vaccine? And that was the time when this company managing director said that they are seeing a good traction in its export order book on the back of increased demand for home improvement products. In order to meet this incremental demand, company is planning to expand its manufacturing capacity of quartz kitchen sinks by 20% from 1 lakh units per annum to 6 lakh units per annum. Again, these are edited excerpts, but a very strong indication. When the companies are operating at even half the capacity, here is the company which is increasing the capacity. So a very clear indication of the shape of things to come. And what happened next to Acrysil? Okay, before that, there is a one more slide, and this is from the company's own presentation. What it shows is during the past so many years, company has steadily increased its capacity of almost every year or almost 2 years, but not to the extent which it has increased in 2021 and 2022, and which is planning for the even next year. And these are high margin products, and also the asset turnover is very high at 3 times. Now, what happened to the share price? Share price, which was about rupees 120, has increased to 640. Yes, in a matter of just a little longer than 12 months. Exceptionally good performance. Acrysil 122 and 641, 425% returns during the same period. Nifty 53% gains, Sensex 52% gains. I forgot to tell you, in case of Tata Elxsi, we have recommended that stock many times in different products, and all our subscribers have gained handsomely. And also in case of Acrysil, we recommended on September 2020 at 129 rupees, and presently it is 641 rupees. 425% returns. You cannot just try to calculate how many years it will take your FD in a bank to get so much kind of returns. If you include the impact of inflation, then probably in our lifetime, we won't be able to get the kind of returns this stock has given in little more than 1 year. So this is the way to outperform the indices. Now, a very recent statement from Daimler India. This is not a listed company. There is a strong uptick in demand, and even the long haul segment of cement steel has started to demand more trucks in tandem with sustained demand for e-commerce and construction space. The current upcycle is likely to sustain for an extended period of 3 to 4 years. You read the last 4-5 words. So much of confidence they bring to us. The current upcycle is likely to sustain for an extended period of 3 to 4 years. And this is a statement from none other than the managing director. This appeared in Economic Times. So these are the corporate leaders. We should listen what they are saying and then make suitable reorganization in our portfolio with a long-term view. JSW Steel. There is also a statement made recently, maybe about 2 or 3 days back in Bloomberg, and the statement is from Mr. Seshagiri Rao. He is the joint managing director. The current cycle is anticipated to be the 5th super cycle in the history of the industry. In the history of the industry. See the kind of confidence, how confidently they say. So coming to the sector valuations, as I said, we'll cover which sectors offer an opportunity, another good opportunity. Auto and related, domestic is moderate and attractive. Why attractive? I'm changing my valuation here because till the previous review of the sectors, I used to say that remain away from the auto, but now some of the stocks are really very attractive and you can consider from long-term perspective, this is the right time. Yes, presently companies in the auto sector, auto OEMs rather I should say, are finding it very challenging because of the shortage of the chips, but this shortage is not going to remain forever. So this is the time to start accumulating the stocks from the auto OEMs. Auto and related exports are attractive. As I said, most of our auto and related exports are to the US markets, and US markets are undergoing a huge demand. Agrochemicals, it is medium, moderate. Banks, some of the banks are really attractively priced even at the current levels. Cables, it is moderate. Cement is moderate and attractive also because some of the cement sector will continue to have good times for at least next 3-4 years because government is expected to continue to invest in infrastructure development. Chemicals, the valuations are pretty high and they are betting on China One policy, and only, to my knowledge, only 2 companies have bagged big contracts, but rest are still waiting for the big contracts. And if they do not materialize, then there is a risk because most of the chemical stocks are trading at 40+ P ratio valuations. Construction is highly attractive. Defense, it is medium. FMCG are high valuations. Hotels, moderate and attractive. Yes. IT, moderate and high valuations. Some of the stocks are really, really highly priced. Infrastructure is highly attractive. Yes, because those who have started investing from last 10 years, I can say, they have not seen a high growth in infrastructure development, in infrastructure stocks. But those who have seen the period of 2006, 7, 8, they know very well how strong can be the growth in this sector. There were times when stocks like Thermax, L&T, also there were others who used to grow at the rate of 30 to 40% every year, their share price. And during the 2008 crisis, many of the big infrastructure companies have vanished or almost on the verge of getting vanished. There are many, many stocks from those areas, those times. NBFC and metals, it is moderate. Packaging, moderate and high. Paint, paper, pharma, all are high. Real estate, it is medium, and some attractive bets are also there. Sugar, it is already very high, so be very careful. Wait for some reaction, wait for the fancy to fade away in sugar. Technology, it is modern and high. So these were the sector valuations. You can take your bets accordingly. Already foreign portfolio investors are showing a lot of interest. As you can see, every 15 days, there's their assets under management chart. And this has been taken from Economic Times newspaper. New SIP account registration that shows the interest of the investors in mutual funds. This also you can see from this March 2020 how it is rising. It is rising very fast, and still the rise is continuing from last 3-4 months. You can see it is exponential rise. It is vertical rise almost. So, and one should not fear, because already the investor penetration in India is very, very low, about 3.25%. The problem is, as I said, one is the fear, and then because one individually, one does not have the confidence, one does not have the conviction on the stock, so he is worried about the volatility of the stock, about the economy, about the company, about the market, about what his broker is saying, what is happening in social media, okay, what is his neighbor is saying. People are telling that don't invest at market highs. But do you know that during last 40 years, as much as 67% of the time, market operates at high plus minus 5%. So you need not have to bother whether the market is high or low. What you have to focus is on the company. It is the company where you are investing that matters. Ultimately, that matters only. If you are investing for long term, it is the company only which matters. Even in the Sensex, there are companies only. So you should focus, you should concentrate on the company you are investing. So what is the success mantra? Own. When you are buying a share, you are becoming an owner. So if you are buying Yes Bank, just think of that you are going to own that bank, part ownership in that bank. Right? If you are investing in PC Jeweler, think that you are going to own PC Jeweler. If you're investing in Tata Elxsi, think that you are going to own Tata Elxsi. Then your views will change. We need only 16 or 17 stocks in order to diversify the diversifiable risk. Beyond 17, there is no advantage, but there is no harm also. If you can monitor 40 stocks, there is nothing wrong. You can own 40 stocks, but 16, 17 is the bare minimum required. All should be well diversified in terms of the business group, in terms of the sector, in terms of the weightage of the sector, weightage of the individual stock. They all should have exceedingly attractive stories. When I say story, future, with sound credentials. Sound credentials means past. So whatever is past, I say it as credentials or fundamentals. When I say story, then it is the future prospects. Sound credentials will take care of the stability of your stock, while the story will take care of the future growth. And of course, it should be available at attractive valuations. Many investors ask that why not we should invest in US markets, why not we should invest in other markets. So this is a share, this is the index movement from last 1 year. And as you can see, this is the Hang Seng index, there is the China. It is up by only 4%. BSE sensitive index is up by 55%. Dow Jones Industrial Average, there is the US 25.05%. NASDAQ Composite is 39%. And FTSE, that is the France, is up by 16%. Indian index, BSE sensitive index is 55.17%. That is represented as yellow here. You can see the chart. And this blue one is the China. So if the BSE sensitive index is up by so much, is outperformed by so much as compared to the other indices, even the US, even the NASDAQ indices, why should we invest in US markets? Why not select the stocks from the Indian markets? Of course, you may have a fancy for a particular company, maybe for Google or Facebook or something like that. But overall, I strongly believe that India offers much better opportunities compared to the outside markets. We can also help you in this regard, not only in terms of the stock advisory. We have prepared small videos of 20 minutes each for various categories like financial freedom, portfolio management, stock research, how to control emotions. For them, we have made about 10 to 15 videos for each of these category. You can have a look at it. Also, I have authored a book, Way to Billionaire. This is the written in a very simple way and hardly any complex formulas. I think no complex formula, but hardly any formulas, whether I should say. And also we have the calculators, financial freedom calculators, only 3 in number, which can help you a lot in not only in finding how much money is required at the time of retirement, but how much returns are expected from you, from your investments to achieve that target. For all this, visit smartvrc.com. I'm sure you must have liked this presentation, and if you are attending this presentation webinar for the first time, or if your friend is interested, then you can send a request on this WhatsApp number. This is our WhatsApp number, so that we can include you in our respective city group. And don't forget to mention your name and city in the message. And the number is 9755920780. Whatever stocks I have disclosed here should not be construed as an advice to buy, sell, or hold. You have to apply your own sources and own research. With this, we have come to the end of this presentation. Now, this will be followed by a question and answer session. Participants can ask the questions in 2 ways. One is by writing their questions in the chat box, and secondly, by raising their hands through the reaction button. And I will ask you one by one to unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you very much for sparing your so valuable time. So starting with the chat box. Okay, one is, have you recommended Tata Elxsi XSL? Yes, we have not only recommended Tata Elxsi and XSL, we have recommended many more stocks, and we continue to search for good stocks, never ends. These statements are given in media interview or while presenting annual reports. It's a mix. Compare US market return in Indian rupees, that will give you real return. We have compared only for 1 year. Whatever data we have showed is only for 1 year. And during last 1 year, rupee and dollar parity has remained the same. So whatever we have showed is more or less in line with the, after taking into effect the depreciation of the rupee. On particular companies, I will not respond. There has been questions about the Jubilant Foodworks. I'm sorry. Are the valuation in the stock market too high? See, as I said, if you have to look at individually, so maybe for some cement company, the valuation may be too high, but for others, the valuation may be attractive. So always focus on the company, because it is your company share price which is going to give you the returns if you are a long-term investor. Okay, Mr. Tejas Joshi, he has asked that, thanks for the powerful session. My query, as a retail investor, we have to compare our portfolio with index or in terms of return. You have to compare, first you have to compare in terms of the actual returns, rather I should say, in the long term. You have to compare always in the long term, not in a 1 year or 2 year or 3 years vision, at least for 5 years. And you have to compare with respect to the underlying index. When I say in underlying, if you are investing in small caps, then compare it with small cap index. When you're investing in large caps, compare it with large caps. If you want a single index, then always compare with a broad-based index, that is the BSE sensitive index or NSE Nifty. View on telecom sector. Definitely the future prospects of telecom sector are pretty good, but there are only limited players, rather I should say there are only 3 players. So a lot depends how they pan out their services, especially keeping in mind the 5G. And there was a time when Reliance Jio was almost a kind of a monopoly. I cannot say a monopoly, but it was on the verge of getting a monopoly in the sector. But now government has have declared so many reforms in the telecom sector that Vodafone also has a chance of coming back. And Bharti Airtel is already doing very well from last 1 year. I am a starter in share market and need guidance for basic understanding. Please suggest. There is, as I said, there is a lot of material available on our website also regarding our philosophy of investing in stock market, regarding the books one should read. You can go to the frequently asked questions, and there you can find the 5 books we have mentioned. And also you can visit the website investopedia.com. There is an American website, but it gives you a good understanding of the stock market. And also always look for the books written by the investors who have really made money, either for themselves or for their shareholders or for their investors. But always look for those books, like Peter Lynch. 5-6 books he has authored, and all are excellent. Also, we have, as I said during the presentation, there is a section called Smart Insights Pro. We have made small videos, and subscription amount is very small, very nominal. You can subscribe to, in fact, all the 4 modules. You can visit our website, smartverc.com. Why can't we invest in Nifty 50 index fund? Number of mutual fund or PMS beat that. Look at it from 7,800 to 17,500. Low cost and high return, and no need to make changes in portfolio as well. It's automatically adjust. Yes, you are right. If you are investing in individual stocks, then you should outperform. You should have the capability to far outperform those indices. As you said, that has increased from 8,000. Nifty has increased from 8,000 to 17,500. So it is about 110%. And you'll be surprised to know that Smart Billionaire Picks on 23rd March 2020, it was 42 lakhs. Today it is 1.32 crores. So it is more than 3 times. During this period, Sensex has increased by 120%. Sensex and Nifty, and Smart Billionaire Picks is more than 3 times. So if you should have the ability to pick the potential winners, or else you can hire an advisor. But let me tell you, hiring a good advisor is more difficult than finding a good stock. How long bullish trend will continue in the market? No one knows. People say from December onwards, market will start going down. How many people said on 23rd March 2020 that this is the bottom? How many people said that market will be up by 50% in next 1 year? But market was up by 100%. So don't go by what the people are saying. No one knows, no one can predict the market consistently, correctly. It is impossible. So the only best way is to remain invested fully and always look for the best of the best stories with sound fundamentals and attractive valuations in your portfolio. That is the way to outperform. We have been doing it from last more than 25 years. And all our services, as I said, as I shown also during the presentation, all our services are doing tremendously well. All our services are far outperforming the underlying indices. Mr. Okay, one of the subscribers has given me the WhatsApp group number. Okay, I would request to please send a request on our WhatsApp number 9755920780. Which three sectors will you recommend for investment, and is there correction expected before Diwali? Let me tell you, I never invest for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, not for even for a year. I always request you, if you are a long-term investor, to invest at least for 5 years. Yes, it takes about 4 to 5 years for one complete business cycle to finish. That is the way to investment. You cannot predict what will happen in before Diwali. When the Sensex crossed 50,000 mark, everybody was telling that this is enough, enough is enough, 50,000 is too big a market to sustain. But now we are very near to 60,000, and within a period of 6 to 7 or maybe about 8 months. So don't try to predict the market. Always concentrate on your stocks. We have done it. We have done it for so many years. You can also do it. Have the confidence on the corporate. Confidence is very much required. Conviction, confidence, these things are very much required in stock market. In all advisory product, will we get investing idea during market run? Yes, we advise always during the market run. Always. Please type website in chat box. Okay. Our chat website is smart VERC SMART Peter Lynch book available in Gujarati or Hindi language? That you will have to find out. I'm not aware. I know only the English versions. Okay, that was all about the from the chat box. Coming to the Mr. Hemal Kapasi. Kindly unmute yourself. Yes.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Hemalji. How are you?
Abbas, fine, sir. Thanks a lot for a wonderful session. I am witness of your success journey, and I have also been part of the success journey. Sir, one thing I wanted to ask: many PSU companies are available at very cheaper valuation, like IOC, Coal India, MSTC, and like that. So, do you find that this underperformance will still continue, or you feel that in times to come, they will also start performing?
See, it all there are various phases in the bull market, and there is a dearth of undervalued stocks, then such stocks also start moving up. Like you might have seen in case of ITC from last 2-3 days.
Yes.
So, and especially in public sector, if I ask you what is the future prospect of NTPC or what is the future prospect of Coal India, can they double their capacity in next 3 years or 4 years? So I look at it like this. Their fundamentals, most of the public sector companies' fundamentals are very, very strong. Their credentials are very strong. But what about the future prospects? It is the future which will decide the share price.
For example, just IOC,
Yeah.
I was just going through the financials that it has made around 25,000 crore profit in last year, and its market cap is around 1,10,000 crore. So I was just wondering that, say, it is going to come with hydrogen plant. It has already started installation and might be complete in 2 years. So I don't know that why valuation is not given to IOC. Despite the wonderful performance.
Yeah, this is what I said. See, IOC has made a profit of 25,000 crores, as you said. I'm not very sure. I'm not checked, but I'm believing on your this thing. But has it the potential for its products to grow at such a high growth rate, even if it invests? Okay, it is making money because of the almost all public sectors have near monopoly situation in their respective fields. That is why most of these companies are making good profits. But do they have the demand potential for their products in times to come? That has to be seen.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Mr. Tejas Joshi, kindly unmute yourself. Yes, sir.
Hello. Sir, my query is that related to insurance sector.
Yeah.
And the second query is that in the webinar, current and past, you have said the chip shortage. What is the chip shortage? Is there any company for chip shortage in India which is listed?
No, in India, we are not manufacturing the semiconductor chips. Of course, government has initiated the steps to, they have tied up some, I think some company from Israel or something like that. They're not tied up, but they have come out with some policy, but it will take a long time. And when I say chip means the semiconductor chip, which is used in all electronic gadgets and also in passenger vehicles and all automobile vehicles, there is a chip, and we are shifting to the electronic vehicles, of course, steadily. So there is a strong demand for chips, especially due to the COVID. People were sitting at home, so they purchased a lot of mobiles, a lot of gadgets, electronic gadgets, and all these require chips. And mainly, I think Korea and Taiwan are the countries which manufacture the chips. Presently, chips are in shortage, and maybe for next 6 months also, this shortage may continue. In India, I don't know any listed company which manufactures semiconductors.
Okay. Sir, on insurance sector.
Okay. Coming to the insurance sector, already there are a lot of players, and all players are big enough. They have deep pockets, and there was a time when even in the telecom, same situation was there. There were many players, and many of them were with big pockets. But ultimately, who gained? When such is the situation, then it is the consumer who gains, and hardly the shareholder. Shareholder hardly gains from such a situation. Same is with insurance, and there need to be consolidation in the sector. After that only you can expect a decent growth. But for the time being, whatever LIC loses the market share, that will be captured by the remaining players. Otherwise, the growth from the insurance perspective only will not be that much that can justify the investment. And most of the insurance companies are overly valued at current juncture. Is it okay? Mr. Gajanan Koshatwar.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sir, मेरे 2-3 queries है जो looking at our Indian government's push towards the self-reliance on the defense sector, space technology, and उसमें हमारे जो सेक्टर प्लेयर्स है तो शेयर मार्केट में उसमें मतलब आपका पहला तो व्यू क्या है अनदर 5-10 years के लिए, और सेकंड है कि उसमें कौन से प्लेयर्स है जो हमारे लिस्ट में जो अपने जो अट्रैक्टिव है वो कंसिडर नहीं हो रहा है. सेकंड इज आफ्टर द कोविड हम अगर मार्केट बोलते हैं तो वी आर आल्सो वन ऑफ द कंज्यूमर. आई लिव इन अ वेरी स्मॉल टाउन और इवन तो मेट्रोज में तो लोगों का क्या हो रहा है कि ऑनलाइन बिजनेस की तरफ में मतलब कोई भी प्रोडक्ट्स को हमको सर्च करने का जो पुराना आदत था, हम 10 दुकान घूमते थे, अभी बिल्कुल नहीं जाते हैं. वी ट्राई टू बी ऑन क्या बोलते हैं ऑनलाइन खरीद के घर में ही प्रोडक्ट्स को लेते हैं. तो जो लॉजिस्टिक डाटा मैनेजमेंट एंड अनदर जो कंपनीज है इन द स्पेस ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग अ प्लेटफॉर्म मतलब जो अमेजोन के लिए काम करती है, इनका मतलब क्या फ्यूचर में रहेगा इंक्लूडिंग वेयर हाउसिंग ऑल्सो फॉर दी दिस प्रोडक्ट्स, क्योंकि कंज्यूमर की डिमांड चेंज होती जा रही, बिहेवियर चेंज होते जा रहा है. इवन हम कोई भी चीज खरीद रहे हैं तो आना ये 1-2 साल में इवन वाइट गुड्स ऑल्सो वी ट्राई टू परचेज थ्रू दी ऑनलाइन पोर्टल्स रादर देन गोइंग थ्रू दी रेगुलर जो शॉप्स है या इसके तरफ में है. तो ये तो बेनिफिट तो कौन से सेक्टर्स को हो सकता है इसका?
इसमें मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज जो इन्वॉल्व हैं वो लिस्टेड नहीं है. एंड जैसे कोरियर सर्विस है, ब्लू डार्ट इज देयर, बट ये कंपनीज ब्लू डार्ट को ज्यादा यूज नहीं करती हैं बिकॉज द चार्जेस ऑफ ब्लू डार्ट आर वेरी हाई. एंड जैसे अमेजोन है, फ्लिपकार्ट है, इनके खुद की ही लॉजिस्टिक्स कंपनीज हैं, सब्सिडरीज हैं जो कि ये काम करती हैं और जो कि लिस्टेड नहीं है. इवन अमेजोन या फ्लिपकार्ट भी हमारे यहाँ लिस्टेड नहीं है, but they are selling the products of most of the listed companies. So in जो आप जिस फील्ड में आप देना चाहते हैं, लॉजिस्टिक्स है या कुरियर कंपनीज है या वेयर हाउसिंग कंपनीज है, ये कंपनीज लिस्टेड नहीं है, इसलिए हम उसमें पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर सकते. यस, एज यू सेड प्रेफरेंस चेंज हो रहा है, बट आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट कि वंस जब ये कोविड फैक्टर बहुत कम हो जाएगा, मिनिमम हो जाएगा, वंस अगेन हम सभी अपने अपने काम पे वैसे ही जाने लगेंगे जैसे पहले जाते थे. कोई बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ने वाला है. ऑलरेडी आईटी कंपनीज ने भी, बहुत सारी आईटी कंपनीज ने भी बोल दिया है कि यू विल हैव टू कम टू द ऑफिस. सो वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम, या मुझे अगर 1 लाख रुपए का टीवी खरीदना है तो आई एम वेरी श्योर कि मैं घर में बैठ के इंटरनेट पे सेलेक्ट करके टीवी शायद नहीं खरीदूंगा. मैं एक बार जाना चाहूंगा इसका कंपैरिजन के लिए कि कैसा दिखता है, उसमें व्यू कैसा है, उसका साउंड कैसा है, उसके लिए जाना होगा. मोबाइल में खरीद सकता हूँ क्योंकि इट इज ए स्टैंडर्ड प्रोडक्ट एंड हमें मालूम है कि एप्पल के या सैमसंग की क्वालिटी कैसी होती है. बट फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द अदर स्टॉक्स, अदर कमोडिटीज और आइटम्स, इट वुड बी बिट डिफिकल्ट. एंड अगर वो होगा भी तो डिमांड तो नेचुरल है, बढ़ेगी, लेकिन वो लिस्टेड नहीं है, वी कैन नॉट पार्टिसिपेट.
एंड व्हाट अबाउट सर डिफेंस एरोस्पेस में तो बहुत गवर्नमेंट का बहुत ज्यादा फोकस है सेल्फ रिलायंस की तरफ में.
किसकी तरफ में? रिलायंस
टेक्नोलॉजी एंड डिफेंस.
बट वी डोंट हैव द लिस्टेड कंपनीज. उसमें जो गवर्नमेंट की पब्लिक सेक्टर है वही है. प्राइवेट में तो अभी वो कैपेबिलिटी डेवलप नहीं हुई है छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स बनाने के लिए. ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर कंपनीज एंड जैसे वालचंद नगर इंडस्ट्रीज है, लेकिन वो क्वालिटी के जो डिमांडिंग है वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. एंड इवन सुंदरम फास्टनर हैज पुट अप अ प्लांट. वो बहुत छोटा प्लांट है, जस्ट फ्रॉम टेस्टिंग पर्पस. 100 करोड़ का वो लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है उन लोगों ने. सो इट इज ऑल, मतलब अभी जस्ट क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ने भी ओपन किया है तो कंपनीज स्टार्ट कर रही है. इवन जैसे भारत फोर्ज है, तो भारत फोर्ज डायरेक्टली इन्वॉल्व नहीं है उसमें, लेकिन थ्रू सब्सिडरीज यस इट इज सप्लाइंग टू द डिफेंस. एंड अभी आपने पढ़ा होगा एक्शन कंस्ट्रक्शन को भी अपने कुछ इस तरह के कुछ व्हीकल्स के लिए ऑर्डर मिला है डिफेंस से, बट नॉट टू दैट एक्सटेंट कि कोई बड़ी कंपनी हो या जैसे L&T हो, बहुत सारा डिफेंस का काम करते हो, मतलब मेजर हो, वैसा नहीं है।
Tata is also entering, sir, for the Chinook.
हेलो हेलो, इट सीम्स उनका सिग्नल चला गया है गजानन कोशेटवार जी का। टाटाज, okay, there are many companies, many groups who are planning, but let them enter and then we will decide whether we should buy those stocks or not. Mr. RP? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I have two queries basically. So I will go one by one, sir, if you permit, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, first is what is your take on asset management companies, sir, going ahead, sir? Regarding like our mutual fund industries, आगे बढ़ रही है बहुत, so being having so much liquidity in the system. So what's your take on asset management companies, sir?
Okay, regarding the AMCs, yes, as you said, बहुत सारे लोग म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं, SIP कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारे फ्रेश इन्वेस्टर्स भी आ गए हैं, और हमारा जो इन्वेस्टर पेनिट्रेशन है that is also very low. It is a good, prospects are good, but at the same time, these investors have, during last 1.5 years, many investors have joined. How long they will continue, it all depends, because volatility is a big factor for a new investor. And already there are many asset management companies, many good players, like in insurance, in asset management also there are good players. And there is one more factor. As I said, about 65 to 70% of the mutual funds are not able to outperform their underlying benchmark indices. So slowly people will move to the index funds or the ETFs, index ETFs. So the asset management companies का जो प्रॉफिट बनाने का जरिया है वो धीरे धीरे कम होता जाएगा. Already, as I said, in US, almost 90% of the actively managed mutual funds are not able to outperform, and people are moving to the या तो सेल्फ इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं या फिर इंडेक्स फंड्स में जा रहे हैं, इंडेक्स ETFs में जा रहे हैं. एंड वैल्यूएशन ऑलरेडी, क्योंकि ये चीज अभी दिस इज नो मोर ए सीक्रेट, बहुत हॉट है कि जैसे कैम्स है, एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज हैं, ये कंपनीज CDSL, NSDL, ये सब बहुत पैसा बना रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द न्यू ओपनिंग ऑफ द अकाउंट्स, बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीज्ड एक्टिविटी ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स. लेट इट कूल डाउन. इस फ्रेंजी को थोड़ा सा कूल डाउन होने दीजिए. जब लोग इस फैक्टर को भूल जाएंगे तब आप उसमें इन्वेस्ट करें. दैट वुड बी द राइट टाइम, not at the present juncture.
Okay, sir. Second question is, thank you, sir. Second question is, sir, can FMCG continues its lackluster performance going ahead, and because entry barriers are very less in this FMCG segment, and will it prove to be a prudent for FMCG investments right now, sir?
To the best of my knowledge, we have recommended only one FMCG stock during last 3 years, and it has done reasonably well. But as far as the valuations are concerned, yes, most of the FMCG stocks are highly overvalued in terms of the P ratio and the growth rate in their earnings. They are not able to find the ways to spend the money earned from the profits, and in turn what they are doing is they are returning the same money in the form of higher dividends. That is an indication that they are not able to deploy that money. As far as the growth is concerned, growth in FMCG companies is directly linked with the growth in the average per capita income, or you can say the middle and upper middle class of the India. And you will agree with me that during the COVID, not many people have lost the job, and a lot of salary cuts are there. And our government has not distributed free cash in the economy. They have supported the weaker sections, but they have not given a free cash like it has been given. Almost a free money has been given in US markets. So we cannot expect FMCG companies to have a good growth, at least in the foreseeable future.
Because, sir, in most of the FMCG leaders like Nestle, Dabur, HUL, growth is on the lower side, basically 10 to 15 to 20% only. And 10% growth is, we cannot say that it is a very beautiful growth going ahead.
You are right. See, it is very simple. When the Sensex is growing at a CAGR of about 14 or 15% every year from last 40 years, then why should we look for companies with only 15% growth? We should always look for companies with at least 20% growth.
But sir, only sector which seems to be, I don't know, sir, how I am right, sir. I am right or wrong, sir. Like I feel technology is only one sector which have some potential like this, and other sector I am not able to, sir, find out right now. If you can share one or two sector which can give a growth of like more than 20%, sir.
During the presentation, I showed you the sectors. Like infrastructure sector is there, IT is definitely there, cement is there, and it is not the sector. You have to do a bottom fishing. Bottom fishing in a sense, you have to go from bottom of the pyramid. First, you look for the company. It is not necessary that we should always look for the sector. If you look for the companies and find which companies are reporting better results on a long-term horizon, you will come to know that this is the right company to invest. And if you get a couple of companies from the same sector, then definitely that sector is doing something better. As I said, in case of that, I have given you an example of Tata Elxsi, I have given you an example of Agrisil India, and there are many other companies also which have done pretty well, and all these are from the export markets. That is why I included one sector as export. The companies which are exporting, especially to the US market, they have a very good future, at least for next 6 months or 9 months or 1 year maybe.
Okay, sir, will recording of this session be available on YouTube or pardon, sir, I did not get
available, sir. I will make you I will share in the group.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and I hope, sir, this type of sessions you will continue giving on this platform, sir.
Yeah. This you are attending for the first time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then kindly register. Kindly send a request on our WhatsApp number, and we will include in one of our WhatsApp groups.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jitendra Bothra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. हाँ, मेरी क्वेरी थी सर, जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम देखते हैं सर, जैसे कोई न्यूज आती है तो न्यूज से पहले ही जैसे स्टॉक्स के जैसे फंडामेंटल बाद में इफेक्ट करता है और न्यूज से पहले ही स्टॉक बढ़ जाता है। जैसे भी ड्रोन की न्यूज आई तो जेनटेक पहले ही 100 से 200 पहुंच गया, जब उसकी न्यूज आई पीएलआई स्कीम के लिए तो वो लोअर सेपरेट स्टार्ट हो गया। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में हम फंडामेंटल तो बाद में आता है, तो इसमें हमें लॉस नहीं हो जाएगा कि प्राइस मूवमेंट हमारी मिस हो गई?
देयर इज नो कंपल्शन कि हमको उस कंपनी में लगाना ही है, ऐसा कोई कंपल्शन नहीं है। एंड सेकेंडली, ये हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, आप जो बात कर रहे हैं, ये 1-2 दिन या हफ्ते भर की बात कर रहे हैं। व्हेन वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं। मान लीजिए 2011 में फर्स्ट टाइम हमने बजाज फाइनेंस 62 रुपीज में आइडेंटिफाई किया था और उसको रिकमेंड भी किया था। अभी आप उसको 62 में खरीदें, 72 में खरीदें या 82 में खरीदें या इवन 100 रुपीज में खरीदें, आज जो रेट चल रहा है 7400 रुपीज, इट हार्डली मैटर्स। हम उसको क्या बहुत छोटे उसमें देखते हैं कि ये 10 रुपए चल रहा है, ये 12 रुपए हो गया, मैं इसको कैसे खरीद लूं, मैंने अभी कल तो इसको 10 रुपए दिखा था। तो वी शुड ऑलवेज लुक फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म, स्पेशली जब कोई न्यूज आती है और जिस समय स्टॉक वो हॉट रहता है या वो सेक्टर बहुत हॉट होता है, तो उस समय हमको इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करना चाहिए, उसको हमें छोड़ देना चाहिए, तो अपने आप नीचे आता है।
राइट, ओके, थैंक यू।
Yes, Mr. Sunil Bhomani.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, I have almost 3 questions. Should I ask them one go or step by step?
सर आप मेरे को बाकी के व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिए, एक क्वेश्चन आप पूछ लीजिए because already there are 3-4 members more.
I'm shorting it down to 2, sir, because
Yeah, tell me.
sir, as you might be aware, I'm your subscriber of SBG, where you, if I'm not sure by the name, wherein you give us inputs on every Wednesday. Now, my question is that presently I'm flush with almost 5 lakhs rupees. So previously also almost 3 months back, 3 to 6 months back, I have invested partial amount in SBP, and as per your expert guidance, I'm in bit of a profit. So right now I should invest again in that thing, or I should go for this, as you mentioned the names and these leaders, L&T, etc. I should go with them, sir. And one more thing, I have a loan of almost 9 lakhs rupees, but that loan interest is as low as 5%. So I want to start as SIP, which your product is there. So right now in the session previously, you told that their amount is 10,000. So I presume even if I start that SIP scheme, we can double the scheme. Instead of 10,000, we can invest 20,000. So should I go for SIP type scheme so that my target of repaying that loan can be achieved in 2 years, sir?
Regarding your first question, you want to invest, you have 5 lakh rupees. You can, at any point of time, you can invest in SBP because we are there for long term. Already more than 20 years have gone, and we are going to remain there forever in SBP. So no point of time it is a good time or bad time. Anytime you can invest. Regarding the SIP, if you are already investing in SBP, then you need not have to go for SIP until unless you are making money on a monthly basis, then it's okay. Otherwise, because your profile is like that SBP suits you. I would never recommend that don't mix loan and equity. If you want to repay loan, repay it, but don't transfer that money into the stocks.
No, sir. I am already having loan, and my profile is that I don't want to keep loan over my shoulder, but that the loan interest is as low as 5%. So I am being bit greedy as it is. I want to sort of invest every month and say 2 to 3 years horizon, and I want to invest on say SIP basis, and after 3 years, God willing, I may earn, and then whatever I have invested on monthly basis, I'll earn. I'll take that money and repay that loan, sir. As it is, I have not taken loan. That loan is existing on one house, and apart in that house, after EMI also, almost 5,000 I am gaining as a way of rent, sir.
See, that is your personal decision. I cannot say because for that I need a full profile that what are the investment assets and all those things. And also, if once the market goes down, then suddenly our views also change. So I cannot comment on that. That is your call, and how much other loans you have got, and what are your liabilities in the coming time, and all those things are there. So that call is yours. I cannot help you in that. But in general, I would recommend that don't postpone repaying the loan. It is better to let it move at its own pace, and here also you keep on investing only the free money into the stocks. Yes, Mr. Vivek Narayan.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, sir. I am also attending the session for the first time. So wonderful sessions, a wonderful experience. So that's one. So my question बहुत specific है. Sir, we talked about chemicals और आपने अपना view बताया था chemical industry के बारे में. Himadri Chemicals is one I've invested, और GAIL में मैं सोच रहा था because उसका मैं study कर रहा हूँ कुछ time से. तो sir, what would your view be on Himadri, because वो बहुत ज़्यादा improvement दिखा नहीं है sir कुछ time से. So in case of Himadri, would you suggest to move out and reinvest somewhere else, or मैं इसको continue करूँ? That was my question, sir.
Sir, first of all, I welcome you are here for the first time. And unfortunately, sir, हम लोग किसी भी स्टॉक के बारे में एडवाइस नहीं देते हैं। तो
अच्छा, ओके।
के बारे में भी आपको मैं ऐसा वो नहीं दे पाऊंगा। जरूर आपको कहूंगा कि yes, there are other companies which are doing better than in terms of overall. There are better options. That is what I can. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So what I have is, sir, I've taken down the WhatsApp number.
Hello.
Smart billionaire thing है, the BSP, I think वो उसको बोलते हैं BSP. तो सर वहाँ पे the returns, if we talk about the CAGR or the returns in say 3-5 years, how much do we expect in like say 5 years horizon, sir, in the BSP investment?
About 25%.
25% CAGR.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. ठीक है sir, that was my query was. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Niyar Sharma.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I am able to hear you, sir.
Yeah, sir. First of all, thanks for the wonderful presentation. Sir, I have question regarding the evaluation of a stock. Like, how much should be the fair value of PEG? Basically, after which the share becomes basically overvalued. And while calculating the PEG, basically, while in the PE, we should take the trailing earnings or the future earnings of the stock. And while calculating the growth also, we should take a CAGR of 3 years or 5 years. That's my question, sir.
3 years is the optimum period. As
Right,
far as growth is concerned, you have to look at what has happened in the past 3-4 years, and then you can extrapolate what will happen in the next 3-4 years, depending on the circumstances, depending on the sector in which it is present, depending on the demand for its products. As far as the fair PEG is concerned, it depends on the growth rate. If the growth rate is very high, suppose if the growth rate is 50%, then I am ready to give a PEG of 2 or even 2.25 or even 2.5 also. Because the high growth rate will compensate it in the coming years. But if the growth rate is very low, suppose the growth rate is 10%, then I am not going to invest in that company. However low is the PEG, because 10% growth rate is much less than even the Sensex growth rate, 15%.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
On the growth rate of the earnings.
So, if suppose a company is growing at a growth rate of 30%, then how much PEG should be okay?
About 1.75.
1.75. Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ramchandra ji. Mr. Ramchandra.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. बताइए सर, आपकी क्वेरी बताइए.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, this is a very fantastic session today, and I have learned much. And I have so far concerned, I never left your any session, sir. And it is very knowledgeable. Thank for such session, sir. And now I have invested every multi-bagger recommended by you, and also Acrisales and Tata Elxsi, etc. But my problem is that Acrisale I sold at 260. It's a target achieved. At that time I sold, but now it is 600 and up. And so in every multi-bagger it happens so. So my query is that how can we get entire extract from this kind of multi-bagger, sir? So after selling it, we have to regret. So yes, we think that if we have stayed little more, then can also multiply can get further benefit. Thank you, sir.
I agree with you. But what happens is, like in case of Agrisil, as you said, share price further doubled. So what happens is the story keeps on changing. It is not that the last year itself, Agrisil said that we are going to increase our capacity by 100%. First, they said that they will increase from 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs. Then they said to 7 lakhs, then to 860, and now 1 billion. So as the story develops, our the worth of the stock also keeps on changing. So it is not possible to say in the beginning that how far it will go and how fast it will go. We advised Tata Elxsi, but we never knew that it will achieve the target within 8 months or 9 months. So we have given you a target of about 3 years. So that is how it works. Many times it is on the upside also, and many times it is on the downside also. So it is the worth of the stock which we have to monitor, and it is for a retail investor, it is very difficult to find the worth of the stock. So basically, you should follow us in total. That is the best way. And even if you have sold Agrisil for 260 rupees, you have made 100% returns in less than 5 months, and that is wonderfully well. So be happy with the glass full rather than the glass empty, what you are looking at. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. Okay, there is one last question we are taking up. In between, you release special reports for which exit call aren't provided. Yes, we come out with special reports in which there is no exit call, because we are monitoring the target price or stop loss automatically through the computer, through the application. We are not doing it manually. So in case of smart reports, since it is not our regular product, we don't have a system implemented on our website to monitor its target and stop loss, and hence we are not providing the same. But the same has already been undertaken, and hopefully in 2 months' time, we shall start providing you the exit calls also in case of smart reports. So thank you very much for this long session and your interest. See you next time. Bye-bye.